She says, I'm blessed now. This is what she told people exclusively because I know who I am without question. It was because of her HBO show We're Here, on which she and fellow drag superstars Shangela and Bob the Drag Queen visit small town America, that she decided to transition in the first place. And 7 months after she made the decision to transition, Eureka is proud to share her story publicly for the first time, saying it's been really magical and it's been probably the easiest transitional and coming out journey that I've ever been on. I hope my story teaches people that gender is a journey and we are ever evolving people. While filming the next 2 episodes of We're Here in Florida this spring, Eureka met 2 trans individuals, Mandy, who transitioned later in life, and Dempsey, a young trans girl who inspired her to re-examine her identity, saying, hearing this story of Mandy regretting losing all that time and all that regret and that pain that she was going through during the time of not fully being herself was really important to me. When I left Mandy's house that day, I started spiraling. It just had me searching my mind. What is happening? What is going on? Then I just answered myself. I'm trans. I'm a trans woman. It just clicked. She adds, now I'm 31 years old. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be like Mandy and finally transition at 70 to be happy. They're at the same age that Caitlyn transitioned. I don't want to lose 40 years. I want to spend those 40 years happy. In the early days of her transition, Eureka had a strong support system in place, including her drag mother, Jacqueline St. James, and her We're Here sisters, Shangela and Bob. And Eureka felt empowered to share her story and take back her own narrative on the show, as she had several coming out moments in her life. Ahead of this transition, Eureka previously identified as a gay cisgender man, then lived as a trans woman from ages 18 to 22 before eventually identifying as non-binary. So if you want to read that whole article, I should say, you can go to my website or you can go to people.com and read the whole article. But I have the link and everything on my website, chrisavalon.com, if you want to check that out. But I have to say, you know what, everybody, it takes a lot of people a lot of time to figure out who they are and live in their truth. And I'm glad that Eureka has taken the time to finally sit in her truth and figure out who she is. And, she did go on to say that when she was a child, from as young as she can remember, I just remember going to sleep and I would cry and pray to wake up a girl. She also said that she spent years contemplating her identity, saying the problem in the past has been there was always a question in the back of my mind. Is this really who I am? And did I give myself a chance as a young gay male? Was the question that I had from 18 to 22, because that was a lot of my parents' questions and therapist questions, a lot of people's opinions. She said that before she had, embraced her trans identity, she found solace in the drag community and on stage. And I feel like, drag, gives people the opportunity to figure out. And I've noticed that throughout life. This is why I don't understand, it's nice that Drag Race is finally acknowledging that trans people play an integral part in the world of drag. Drag is not only just about cis gay men dressing up as women and being a caricature of females. That's not what drag is about. Drag is also about just trying to playing around with your gender, figuring out your identity. And a lot of trans people figure out who they are and their identity through dressing up and performing and doing all those things. There are some gay men who are just like, you know what, I just like, this is a job. I mean, not a job, but this is a career. But it's not all of who I am. And there's a lot of trans people, me coming up in the club scene, I remember seeing a lot of trans women performing, Karen Covergirl, some of the other girls back in the day. Tyra Allure, who y'all know as Dominique Tyra A. Ross. I would see women performing in the nightclubs and a lot of the black clubs coming up in New York City. Yeah, I've been around. Mother has lived. So, I just want to say, you know what? Shout out to Eureka. I'm so proud that she's figured out who she is. And hopefully we'll get to see this journey that she continues to go on. And I'm happy that she's finally able to embrace who she is. And I think that's what people need to do, is just offer people grace, offer people to figure out the opportunity to figure out who they are, because gender identity, sexuality, all these things, it's ever evolving. we're always evolving as human beings. No one is just one plain thing forever. We're always evolving. Not just in sex and gender, but just in life as human beings. We're always evolving. We're always growing. We're always developing into different things. So congratulations to you. And yes, mama.